Welcome to Spiritual Connections LLC. My name is Angelina, and I am your spiritual alignment coach and your subliminal coding specialist. So for those of you who are new to my channel, or perhaps you are returning, let me tell you a little bit about what spiritual alignment means and what is subliminal coding, why does it matter to you, and why is it my new passion project. So before I jump too far into that, make sure that you like this video, subscribing to my YouTube channel, hitting that little bell so that you get notified anytime I go live or post a new video. I also love and am open to your feedback. So if you have any questions, comments, or requests for content, make sure you leave those in the comments, and I will do my best to post videos that are interesting to you all. So let me tell you all a little bit about what is spiritual alignment. Spiritual alignment is this idea that things happen in our day-to-day lives that are not in alignment with our value systems, our foundational beliefs, and our conscious desires, right? Like, we all want things in life, and when we don't get those things, there's a misalignment that occurs. So a spiritual alignment coach is somebody who assists you in bringing your life into alignment to create the reality that is most in alignment with the best and highest version of you, and assists you in proceeding through life's conflicts or hardships in a way that is grounded, thoughtful, and in alignment with those goals and values. So pretty simple, really. So if you're watching this video and you're going, oh wow, that sounds really cool, but Angelina, how do you do that? Well, I'd love to tell you how, and the way that I do this is with something called subliminal coding. So before I talk to you about subliminal coding, I first have to tell you about subliminal messaging and why this is so important. Okay, so the average person takes in about 50 million bits of information every single second, okay? So every second you're receiving 50 million pieces of stimuli, which are bits of information that your brain has to do something with, okay? So the subconscious mind is really awesome because it has a filtration system that takes that 50 million stimuli and it takes the most important, and then it gets rid of all the rest, right? It stores it and gets rid of it. It doesn't even come into your conscious awareness. So we have created this filtration system over the course of our lives. So from the time you were conceived until this current moment, your filtration system has certain criteria. Now, the other really crazy fun fact is that the average person's filtration system takes the most negative, the most dangerous stimuli, so the most dangerous bits of information, and acts upon those first, okay? So we see the most negative, and those are the most important. So those are the things that we act on. I repeat that because it's really important, because the average person doesn't want to be negative, right? Nobody wants to be angry, sad, negative, believe the worst in people. Nobody wants that. And yet that is what our subconscious mind brings into our current reality, right? Our moment-to-moment reality is that filtration. So what do we do with that? Like, how do we change that? So in our day-to-day world, there's tons of messaging, tons of subliminal messaging, because remember, 50 million stimuli per second, that's a lot. So we are going throughout our days receiving all of these bits of information, and then we're doing something with it. So a really good example of this is we binge watch. How many of us binge watch Netflix or YouTube or Hulu or Amazon Prime, whatever it is, wherever you're watching? How many hours do you spend watching that show or whatever, movie, whatever it is? The average person watches hours of TV, hours upon hours, and that is what becomes their reality. So for an example, I started watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer on Amazon Prime. When I was a kid, it was such a cool show. I loved it. It was amazing. It was everything I ever wanted. And we were watching it once a week. Okay, so I was binge watching it, and I found myself becoming so sad, so angry, like feeling like my boyfriend was distant and like not hanging out with me, and like all these weird conflicts were occurring. Why? Because the 50 million stimuli per second was going into my brain. It was becoming my reality, because that show is pretty depressing, okay? It's pretty sad. So my subconscious mind was taking that in. It was creating that as my reality. It was creating that in my mind and my heart, that things were not going well. And so that was becoming my reality. So that is an excellent example of subliminal messaging. Now, to give you guys a little bit of a real world example, in this current video, there are at least 3 different subliminal coding or subliminal messaging in this video. So in this current moment, if you look around in this video, you will see 3 different motivational subliminal coding kind of moments. So the first one is that we've got this here, which says, don't quit your daydream. So even if your conscious mind did not just see that until I pointed it out, your subconscious mind saw that, interpreted it, right? So it took that information in, and then it kind of moved it to the side. It's not important because you're supposed to be listening to that lady who's talking, okay? The other one, which might be a little bit harder to see, is this right here, which says inspire. Then it has a big thing about what inspire really means and why that's so important, okay? Now, if you didn't realize those things until just now, that's okay. That's exactly the point of subliminal messaging. The third type of subliminal messaging that is in this video is this over here, right there. So for those of you who are part of the spiritual community, you understand the moon cycles and why it's so important for us to understand those energies so that we know how to proceed forward. Now, it's kind of an abstract idea, and however you interpret the moon cycles or that particular bit of information is completely up to you. None of these subliminal messaging moments are meant to influence you in any way, merely to show you an example of how subliminal messaging works, okay? So let me tell you about subliminal coding. Okay, so now that you understand subliminal messaging, subliminal coding is really important. So remember that filtration system that we just talked about for your subconscious mind. So that is subliminal coding, this filtration system. So how your subconscious mind interprets the information is how you proceed in life. So you have a code in which you operate under in order to function. Now, none of this is on the conscious level. All of this is in your subconscious mind. So if you're sitting here like, I don't know, this is a little abstract, that's okay. Stick with me here. So our subconscious mind has a very specific criteria for information. So as we proceed, as we experience, our subconscious mind takes in the most important information to us. It uses it, it gives it to the subconscious mind, then we act on it, and then we experience. So in the spiritual alignment world, we understand that the coding that we have, or the programming that we have experienced over time, doesn't exactly match up with our reality, right? That's where the misalignment comes in. So I understand that something's not in alignment. I know it's on the subconscious coding level. So what can I do with it? So what I teach is I teach people how to hack into their subconscious mind to create a new filtration system, a new coding criteria, so that you can experience your best reality every single day without having to worry about the way that you experienced life in the past, because you're not experiencing that way anymore. Your subconscious mind is an incredibly crazy tool that we really don't understand, and we really don't use it, right? We just kind of take it for granted. We know it exists and that's cool, but like apart from that, we don't really understand it. And we don't really do anything about it. We are constantly fighting against the stream with our conscious mind, trying to change things, and yet our subconscious mind doesn't allow it. And it doesn't allow it because it doesn't know that that's an option yet. So as a spiritual alignment coach and subliminal coding specialist, it is my job to assist you in reestablishing the connection between your subconscious mind and your conscious desires and actions, and bring those two things into alignment so that you know exactly what you want, how to get it, and how to proceed in a way that is in alignment with those core values. All right, everyone, I hope this makes sense to you. This is kind of my passion. This is what I love teaching and talking about. If you have any questions about what is a subliminal coding specialist, what is a spiritual alignment coach, or how on earth can I schedule a session with you so I can learn about my subconscious mind, let me know in the comments. You can also check out my website, which is spiritualconnectionsllc.com. And I would love to talk with you all about this in the future. Remember, if you are new to my channel, to like and subscribe, hitting that little bell. If you are interested in this content and want to see more about it, let me know that in the comments as well. And I would love to teach you all about the subconscious mind and how you can be your best self right now.